I've put the first 20 minutes of this call to follow up on that, make sure everyone is progressing, and see if the team here has any questions. We have Olga from Pritchard with us. I can also support in whatever way I can, and Koi from the Deloitte team is also here, and she can support as well. So let's take the next 15 minutes. If the team here has any questions.
Yes, Khalid, I have a question. Yesterday I have discussion with Salim. You know Salim, okay? So Salim informed me that he agreed and get approval to do some changes on the Excel sheet that you have shared. Some in the main category like pediatric nutrition or IMF, something like that. And also I have some question regarding the sheet itself, if the time is okay, so we can solve these queries for me. So after that, I can share the data.
Sure. Any questions that you'd like to share now? Maybe the rest of the team also will get benefit from it, Saad?
Okay. So first question, when I choose the category like say pediatric nutrition, okay, so I have to put under this subdivision like Pediasure, Similac Total Comfort, extra. Am I right?
So you have how the system is set up, and this was of course aligned with the team, the SFE team, which is so you have pediatric nutrition as the business unit. Under it, you have Pediasure and IMF, right? And if you're talking about Ensure, which I believe is the only medical nutrition brand in Iraq, then you can choose Ensure.
Yes, regarding this category and this distribution, we already divided them based on the distributors. So the question here regarding the specialty of doctors, when I choose like Pediasure and STC, let's say on the same category for pediatric nutrition, okay? So when I'm going to choose the specialty of the HCPs, should I put all the specialty there each brand? يعني for Pediasure, I have to select 3 specialty, and for STC also I have to select these 3 specialty, or can I do it one time for both these brands?
Well, this all depends on what specialities and classifications are being visited by the field force in Iraq. Okay, so if we're saying, let's just take an example, that medical nutrition Ensure team actually visits all the specialities with the same products. Okay, in that case, I would just write the business unit as MN, the sub business unit as Ensure, and leave the rest blank, and then I would fill in the products for that. Okay. And this is, let's say, this is an example for a team that maybe is a small team and they kind of target all of the specialities with the exact same piece of content. Okay. Let's take a more complex example, which is Pediasure or Similac, for example. Okay, so you choose pediatric nutrition and you choose IMF, and you know that, for example, that you are targeting. Let me actually open the one for UAE. You are targeting pediatricians with class A pediatricians with Similac Gold detail aid, and it's one specific campaign 1, and you're doing this for pediatricians as well. Class B, you're doing it for a different product, for example, let's say Similac HMO, I don't know, just as an example. We're targeting A and B differently. Then in that case, you would put 2 lines, one for pediatrician A and one for pediatrician B, and write for the 2 different products for each of them, or the 2 different, let's say, order of products for each of them. So maybe I can give you an example. Let me try to find a good example from that was prepared by the UAE team. Sorry, just one second. So if you don't mind, Janan, I'm going to use medical nutrition as the example because I think you did a great job here. So if you see here, what Janan has done is for the medical nutrition team, they have only one sub-business unit, which is medical nutrition. And they have two different ways that they're targeting. So they have dietitian class A, B, are both getting Ensure Plus Advance as the first content, Ensure Max Detail 8 as the second, and the Discharge Detail 8 as the third, okay? But then if you go down and look at, and they're doing that for both advocates of A and B and pre-users class A and B. And there's also, for discharge nurses, you'll see that the promo grid is a little different. They only are targeting them with one product, which is Ensure Powder, with this only with the Discharge Detail 8. And same if you look at, they have another specialty, surgeons, they do Ensure Plus Advance and so on. So this is how you would make that distinction between the different specialties and the different types of content. If there's only one piece of content for every single, this exact same content for every single specialty, then you would leave it blank. One important thing, and this was actually a follow-up question also by the UAE team, how do I know that I put all of the specialities that the team is targeting? And this is an important question, right? Because the teams here need to coordinate, of course, with the sales teams, with the field force, to make sure that the promo grid is matching also with the targeted specialities in the target list of the med reps for that specific month or quarter or whatever, right? So it needs to be synced, right? Because if I have an example now that in the medical nutrition team in UAE, they started targeting, surgeons for pediatric nutrition, and surgeon as a primary specialty is not here, okay? Then there would be no promo grid for surgeons when a rep goes and visits a surgeon. It's not that they won't be able to see, the reps won't be able to see the content. They will be able to see the content, but they wouldn't show with the P1, P2, P3. And of course, we wouldn't have reports to show if the promo grid was followed or not, which is one of the biggest benefits of having the promo grid to begin with. So just a caveat there. So maybe I would advise strong coordination also with the sales teams to make sure that what's in the target list also has a line here in the promo grid.
Okay. Also, Khalid, here when we are choosing pediatrician and mention it as A class, so how can I differentiate between the pediatrician A class and pediatrician B class? Are there classes related to the specialty or the specific group?
I don't understand your question.
Look, when my understanding was when I choose the specialty, like pediatrician, consider for Similac Gold as A class, okay? While the family medicine specialty considered as a B class for me, okay? So this is my understanding before. So here
it depends on your country. I think it differs from country to country, Thad. I guess here for UAE, we target our med reps target pediatricians across both A classification and B classification. Okay. But it could be that in Saudi, again, this is something that should be coordinated with Ihab, because he's the best person to answer that question on who we should be targeting and how we should be targeting it. But generally, I think it differs from country to country, what specialities that are covered and what classifications within those specialities are being targeted as well.
Okay. Got it. The product is clear. Content name. This is the name of the file that I have uploaded on the picture.
Yes.
And this number. This is the reference.
Exactly. And the reason why this is there is, if you remember in the training, it's just easy for you that in the training you're going to have to take this and upload it into Salesforce. So rather than having to go into Picture, it's already here for you just to make it easier for you in the future.
Yes. Okay.
And then, of course, right now I know that most of the affiliates aren't making different detail aids for different classes, but you'll see here, and just by filling this out, and once we start seeing the reports, you'll see here that there is a power also to making a distinction between the detail aid that should go to A and the detail aid that should go to B. Because then in the reports, you'll be able to see which classification saw which detail aid and for how long and so on. Whereas now it's only one detail aid being seen for both of the classes.
Okay, and this data, I have to get the real data that already uploaded to the team now, right?
Yeah, this would be whatever content you are currently using in your cycle.
Yes. No, not this. I mean this data, like the name of similar goal detail aid. What's the team have now using, right?
Exactly. Yes.
What we will use in the future.
So this is the promo grid for the launch that we have in 2 weeks time.
Yes.
But of course you can change this whenever you like. If you have a new piece of content in a month's time after go live, then all that you would do is go upload that content into Picture and then go update the promo grid on Salesforce. You could use this template if you like as well and update the template and then use that as the basis for updating. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Khaled. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, team,
and it was a good question. Very good questions. I hope it was also helpful for the rest of the team on the call. We have 5 more minutes in the Q&A portion of the meeting. Does anyone else have any questions?
Yes, Khaled, I have a question, please. Sorry.
Go ahead, Samir. Okay. Go ahead, Samir.
Nancy, you want to? Okay, thanks.
No, fine.
Okay, Khaled, one more question. So the promo grid here, I can see there is product 1, product 2, product 3, product 4.
Yes.
Right? And these are basically representing the priority in terms of doing the code. So I start with product 1, then I jump to 2, then 3, then 4, right? Within the same code.
Correct.
Okay. Now what happens in Saudi that it changed those priorities, let's say, on monthly basis. So it's not the same.
Yes.
So so you understand me. So how we're going to put this? Should I make like 12 different lines for
Samir, you can update the promo grid. So just as a disclaimer, this sheet that I've given you as the template is just for your planning, okay? How the promo grid is updated will be updated as per the training that was given, right? Which is you go and you upload it into Picture, and then after you upload it into Picture, then you go and you set up the promo grid on Salesforce, which we still haven't done yet. We will do in a few days' time once we get the Picture or the Salesforce credentials to go in and update the promo grid on Salesforce, okay? So it's up to you how you want to do planning. I recommended that we use this sheet now just so that we can have this good conversation and we're not figuring things out in the last minute once we do get the credentials. But in the future, even if in the middle of the month something changes and you want to immediately start for pediatrician class A, you want to change the look or the order of the promo grid, you could technically go into Salesforce and do it on that day. As soon as the MedRep syncs their iPads, they'll automatically get that update, right? So it's up to you how you want to manage the planning. If you know that this is done on a monthly basis, then in my thinking, or what I would do is I would have every month I would create this template just to plan with the entire team. And then once it's approved, I don't know if you approve it with the entire community, then I would go in and I would update it on Picture and Salesforce. But again, it's entirely up to you how you want to do your planning. From a system perspective, you can edit the promo grid or add new lines in the promo grid whenever you like. You can do it weekly if you wanted.
Okay, that's your point. Fine. Thank you, Khaled.
You're welcome, Samir. Nancy, you had a question?
Yes, Khalid, actually, I wanted to ask about the ID, but I found it on picture. It's fine. Just I want to make sure, Khalid, that I'm, you know, like I'm doing everything till now right, in the right way. So first of all, I downloaded the materials on picture because it's the first time for Kenya. Okay, second, I have filled the template. Okay, it's not complete yet. Because we have, you know, like several product managers, each one is filling, you know, like we're filling together the sheet. I just want to show you the sheet very quickly in a minute only, just to make sure that it's, you know, like right. Okay. And then anything else from my side, so downloading on picture, doing the promo grid till now. Anything else?
No, for now, that's it.
Yes.
The additional thing, task, or the last task in all of this would be once the credentials for Salesforce are given to you, which I believe will happen this week, then you could go in to Salesforce and just add the promo grid. So the details that you've put here, the business unit, sub-business unit, it's the same thing, and then you copy and paste the content ID to create the promo grid for Kenya.
Okay.
That would be the last task.
That would be the last one. Okay, perfect. So Khalid, it's like this, right? Hybrid. It's hybrid so far for Kenya.
Yes. Yes.
But I believe it will change because they are splitting the lines.
Yes.
Then the prime, okay, the adoption level, the classification keywords is automatic product.
Exactly.
Okay, the content file name, it's as I want, right? It's not as it is mentioned in picture. No need to have the same wording.
I would keep it the same wording, Nancy. And if you wanted, you could just rename the name of the content before you upload it, right? Or I think even maybe Picture even gives you the option to rename it on Picture Admin.
Okay, fine. And then the ID, and that's it.
Exactly.
And it's P1, P2, etc. Okay, perfect.
Exactly.
Thank you, Khalid. That's it. Thank you.
Most welcome. Most welcome. Any other question before I hand it over to Olga to complete the rest of the training points? Okay, I'll take that as a no. Thank you so much, team. Really appreciate your efforts, and I see honestly that we're getting there, and the team is really understanding all of this. So thanks a lot for your efforts, and looking forward to a successful launch. I will give the mic now to Olga to continue with the training point.
Great, thanks, Khalid, and hi everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Right, so we're gonna be looking at a number of functions that we didn't cover in the first training that we had. So what I'm gonna do is share my screen with you. So please let me know if you can see my screen. You should be able to view the homepage for Abbott Nutrition MENAP, UAT Saudi Arabia in Picture Admin.
Yes, we can, Olga.
Fantastic, thank you. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna be looking at is how to create hotspots within PDFs or presentations. Okay, now what is this useful? Because maybe within a presentation you want to jump from one slide to another slide, or you want to maybe click on a slide to launch a video, or maybe you want to click on the slide to access a website, okay? So all these things can be done by creating hotspots in your presentation or PDF. Now to do this, you will select on the document region on the homepage, you will select the presentation that you want to add hotspots to, okay? Then you go to Actions and then Edit. Now, what you will see is the thumbnails and all the slides of that presentation. Now, to create the hotspots, the only thing you need to do is just select the slide from which you want to create, in which you want to be creating hotspots. So I'm going to click on the first one. Okay, and just you need to click on Add Hotspot, and then you can select if you want to the type. The type can vary between jump to a slide, launch other content, which can be, either a video, a brochure, a presentation, etc. within this instance that I'm logged in. You can also send a report send a report event, which, this will send an individual text to analytics with both online and offline availability. Also, go to the web page, which open a website. Obviously, internet connection is required. And then you can either exit the presentation or go back to the previous page. Now, so if I select jump to a slide, then I just need to select the slide that I want to jump to. Okay, so I will click on it and then click on save. Right, so now, the hotspot has been created. Now, just to add a new one, you can also add a name to this hotspot if you like. Right, and then you want to add a topic, you could. Okay, for some reason I can, and then notes if you think that this is convenient, and just save a slide. Okay, and that's how you save the hotspot. Now, if you want to create another one, you will click on another slide. You will click on add hotspot. Then you will select the type. For instance, exit presentation. And then you can select it if you want the full screen. So any words that you type on the slide, it will activate a hotspot. Okay, anywhere where you type, or you want to just select an area, you can do that just by dragging and dropping on the square, and then just click on save. You want to save it, or if you want to delete it, you can delete this hotspot. Okay, and to cancel changes, cancel changes. Oops, sorry. I cannot close this for any reason. Back to thumbnails. Sorry, it's because I haven't created hotspots. That's why I cannot delete the hotspot. But anyway, this is how you create hotspots. Just remember that add hotspots and then select the different types. Okay, and the only thing you need to do is just save the hotspot and select the area. Any questions on this?
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, when we can find the file, when we save it?
The file will be, because this file is already it's been already uploaded in admin. That means that it's already available in the instance and the users of that instance. Okay, depending obviously on the distribution. Now, it will just be updating the version that is already uploaded with the hotspots. Okay, so if you go to your instance and you access this presentation, then the hotspots will be already there.
Okay.
Again, depending on who you have distributed this presentation to. Is that clear?
Actually, no.
Okay.
I have seen you saved the hotspot one, right?
لا يا شرحت.
Oh, sorry, guys, can you go on mute, please? Because I cannot listen to their. Hi, yes? Can you repeat, please?
Yes. When you create the hotspot, right? On the first slide, you save it as S1, right?
Yes, you add hotspot, and then you select the type. Okay.
Yes.
And to the content, then you select whatever content you want to launch, for instance. Okay, another presentation to the page one, and then you will click on save. Yes.
Yes, after save. So when can I find this file that I did save to it? Or
where you can find this file?
Yes, after
this
saving.
one. Okay, once you have saved the file, okay, here in admin, right? I'm just saving the file. You gotta go back to, you mean admin, right? In picture admin.
Yes.
Correct? Okay, this file will be in your documents. So I'm just saving it. So it will be here. You see that, you know, this is the name of the file, Pediasure detail, trialist cardiologist. Let me just, you will find it in the documents page. Here. I mean, what you can do is just search for it. Okay, so you will click on the funnel on the title, and you can just, you know, type in the name of the file, and this will filter something that I haven't typed correctly. I don't know. But yeah, so well, you can actually filter contains actually, and then right, you can filter the name, and then it will, your file will appear here. Okay, so you don't have to scroll down to find the presentation. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, is it clear now?
Yes. Now yes.
Good. Great. So that would be how you add hotspots to a presentation or a PDF. Those are the two types. Yeah.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but just one a question regarding the hotspot. So if I want to remove this hotspot, what shall
Sure. So let's just, I'm going to select the file again, Actions, Edit. Edit already takes me to the thumbnail tab by default. So here, if I go to the page, you see that I have already created a hotspot here.
Yes.
So what I can do is just click on it and then delete.
Delete hotspot. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Olga.
I'll do it again. So here, you know, I created this one. So let me just go one step back to thumbnails. I click on the slide where I have created a hotspot. Then I click on the hotspot that I have created and then just delete and save.
Thank you, clear.
And then save again to make sure that everything is saved here. And then you go back to documents and you can search for the content as I shown you. Okay. Good. Any more questions on this? Good. Right. The next thing is chapters. You can also create chapters to a presentation using the chapter editor. So the purpose of this is you can divide into different chapters for easier navigations. Okay. Chapters only work in presentations only, not PDFs, only presentations. So in order to add chapters, first you gotta select again the presentation. You click on it, then you go to Actions. It doesn't let me for whatever reason. Let me choose that one. Edit. Okay, it takes me back to the previous page. By default, it takes me to thumbnails, and then I will have to select chapters. Okay. Once you are on the chapter side, what you need to do is click on Create Chapter to actually start creating chapters on the presentation, on the slides. Okay, so now we are on slide 1, which is this one here, or I can scroll down to select in which slide I want to create the chapters. Okay, so I can go to slide 2, and then I can give it a title. Okay, so chapter 3, and I can create, and I click on Create. So it's just taking a little bit to upload. In both cases, when you're creating chapters, and also when you're creating thumbnails, just make sure that you download the updates once you log into Picture Impact, okay, to see all the changes, because obviously the changes are happening in the back end. So you need to synchronize the information to get all the information updated on the documents, right? So here we have created a chapter. Now, you can just click it and then edit chapter. If you want to make any changes to the title, of the chapter, you can just click on Save. You're making any changes or cancel. Just click on cancel. It's just taking a bit too long. okay? Or you can carry on creating another chapter, or you just can go and delete the chapters. So this is, what you may be asking, why is this useful or for what? You can use this when you have a very long presentation, right, with many slides, and you want to divide the presentation in different chapters for easier navigation. Okay, so then, if let's say that you want to jump from one chapter to the chapter 5, then you will be able to do so quickly. Okay, it's pretty. I mean, it's quite so intuitive, I think, this part. Any questions on the chapter side? No? Okay. I take your silence as we're good. Right, so the next item will be relevant content. So here, we have in the toolbar, we have the tab relevant content. And this, what it does is enables you to create content links that will show with the references button activated in the UI editor. So this allows you to attach any documents to a presentation as a reference. You cannot make a reference on a PDF file or video. So only works in presentations. Okay, it's just you can attach, again, any documents, PDFs to a presentation only. Now, the way to do this, you will select a reference. There's already one here, but anyway. Then I will click on the arrow, and then I will choose the file that it has to be a presentation on which I want to add a reference to. Okay, so now if I select, for instance, just the one-way option, that means that once I click on the reference to the document that I'm going to select, then I have to move forward on that document. I cannot go back to the original document. Okay, so here I'm selecting just, let's say that I don't select one way because I want to be able to return to the original presentation. So I'll just leave it blank. And then on the page, I will select whichever page I want to go to. Okay, it can be to the entire document. Okay, it can be to a slide in particular. So if I want to establish a link to go to the document, then I will just select the document, the presentation, and then I will click on update. Okay. So what I can do again, you can see that I have created a reference here. I can also add another file, which could be a different presentation, right? Whichever, it's just an example, okay? So I'm just gonna be choosing this one. Again, in this one, I can select that it just goes one way, and I want to select that it's gonna go, I wanna go to this page when I click on the reference, and then I will click on update, right? So as you can see now in this document here, in this presentation here, I have created two references, okay? Now, when I click on the reference on the presentation in picture impact, they will appear on the toolbar at the bottom. Then I can click on this one, for instance, on the page 5 cognition objection handler similac presentation, and then it will take me to the slide 5 or page 5 of that presentation. Now, because I have selected only one way, it means that I cannot go back to the original file, to the original presentation. I will have to carry on from this page 5 onwards. Sorry, original presentation being this one, okay? Reference cognition, the one at the top. Now, if I want to remove them, I just will have to click on remove, okay, to delete the reference. Any questions on this? I mean, ideally, it'll be good to see it on impact, But again, whatever changes I do now, I won't be able to access them. So I mean, feel free to play around, right, with in a test environment if you want to, you know, just create references. But again, the way it works is like is creating links. Okay, so you will be creating a reference which will appear in the toolbar within a presentation, and once you click on it, it will take you to the file that you have added here. So this is the original file, and this is the secondary file that you're going to go to.
So, sorry, Olga, the testing is only for presentation or for other detailing as well?
Only for presentations. You can only add you can only add references to presentations and this can be presentations or PDFs. Okay. However, you cannot add PDFs, references to PDFs. I mean, the PDF can never be the original document. It can be the document that you go to when you click on the reference, but never the original document. It has to be a presentation.
Okay, clear.
Good. Any other questions?
Olga, I'm sorry, but can you just repeat how we choose the initial file? Because I'm trying, you know, to do it in parallel. So we go to relevant content, okay. Then we have add reference. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Okay. And then here, how can we choose the file? Oh, we go to document.
Yeah, let me exactly. So we are now in relevant content. I have type on relevant content here. Now I'll go to add reference. Okay. And then here I will click on the arrow references. And the first thing I do is add a file. Add a file.
Okay, and the rest is clear.
Exactly. Yes. And then you just select how to.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. Now, if you wanted to add a tag, let me just delete that. Okay. You will go to add tag. And again, you know, this what it does is going to create a tag under which the link pages or files will be shown when tapping the change symbol. So in other words, right, if you add a tag to a presentation, to a slide, there's going to be a link symbol, you know, just a symbol that is an icon that is going to be appearing on the slide. So when you click on it, okay, when you tap on the change symbol, it will open the tag. Okay, so you do it exactly the same way. You click on new tag, add a file, you select the file that you want to, right, for instance, and then either choose one way or both ways, and then you can select the slide, and then click on update. Okay, I mean, the only things that is different is that there is an icon that is a link icon that you can click on, a chain symbol that you can click on, and will actually take you, will activate the tag. Okay. Again, you know what I'm gonna do after this presentation. I got a couple of videos on this, where it actually shows you how it looks in picture impact on the in the UI. Okay, so you can see. However, this UI is different to the Abbott Nutrition UI. Okay, so don't get confused, because the one that I'm going to share with you is a test UI. So you're gonna be able to see how it works when you add chapters and when you add also references. Okay. But anyway, the function is quite simple, as you can see, just by 3 steps, adding references or tags. Okay. Any questions on this? Huh? Okay. So the last item that I have to cover are surveys. Now, within picture impact, within picture admin, you can create surveys. Now, for that, you will click on the surveys tab here on the toolbar. Okay, and this is the page that that you will that it takes you to. Now, to create a survey, what you do is add a new file. And now you will have the survey or quiz homepage. Here's where you're going to be defining the type of questions that you're going to be using on the survey or quiz. The type of, also the type of answers, whether they're going to be multiple choice or radio or range. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example of this. So let's say that I want to create a survey. Okay, so I click on survey, content type survey, and then I click on set. Always, remember to do this because otherwise you cannot go any further. Okay, then you can select the transition, whether a slide or fade, or you can select, you want to show the answers within the descriptions or just, single question per page. Now you can also select the theme color between a number, different colors, and then you just gotta go onto describing, whether you want to, for instance, enter a landing page message, so an initial message on the survey, and then closing page, that could be a thank you message, right? So now you have just been defining the layout of your survey, and also the welcoming message, and also the goodbye message. Okay, now the next step is to start creating the questions. Now for that, you see that next to general settings you have the questions tab. You can click on it. Okay, and here is where you create all your questions. You can see that you have the save and publish. So when you're finished creating questions, this is where you will click to publish the survey in Picture Admin. And then to add questions, this is a tab that you need to create, that you need to tap, you need to click on. So as I said, you can choose between different question types. Text, it will be, it will allow you to type in a specific, it will allow the user to type in a specific response. For instance, have you ever been to Madrid, right? So that will be just a no answer. Now another one will be the radio type of question, which, this allows you to create several answers, of which, the user might choose one response. For instance, what is the average temperature in the summer in Madrid, right? 30 degrees, 40 degrees, 20 degrees, right? So you can choose, the user will be able to choose from, one answer from many with the radio question type. Then you also have the checkbox, which here, allows the participant to choose all answers that apply, right? So the user will be able to just tick different answers that are applicable to answer that question. And then last will be range. And range is allows the participant to indicate on a scale their response. For instance, on a scale from 1 to 10, right? Like 10 being the highest. So how much do you like, I don't know, popcorn, right? So you can actually just set a minimum value from 1 to 10, and then they can just select a range. Okay. Once you have created the questions, you can keep adding, right? So if I go to test, Spain, whatever, just a no, then you will go into add question. You can see that it's here, right? And then you can just go to range, for instance, and then how much you like. Do you like, I don't know, Madrid, right? Whatever, and then you can select from 1 till 10, so the user can actually select a number. So once you're done, you can just go to save. And as you can see, it takes you back to publish, to the publishing page, where you can give it a title. You can also select the keywords that you want to associate the survey to. So whether you want to place it in a particular pillar, right? Or you just want to add it, you know, the survey tag if you want. So it can be searched by the survey word, okay? Then you can select, you know, you want to be, you know, the navigation where they're all different categories. Okay, you want to be in, I don't know, presentations, for instance. Then the distribution, and then what you need to do is just go to, you want to select someone, you know, like a test, okay? Then you will go to publish. Sorry, it may take a little bit. And this, you know, once as you can see, is now published. Is the survey test that I just created with its unique ID number. Status green means that now it's available, that is published, and then it tells you all the details that it was created, when, edited when, published at what time, by who, right? So if you wanted to, you can also, again, you could actually go back to, you can duplicate it, you can link it to another instance, or if you want, you can edit it by clicking edit. If you wanted to add or more questions or delete the questions, okay, you can do so, or you can go back to edit and publish and follow the same process as before. And then, you know, this survey will be available to this user that I have added here, because I chose to distribute this survey just to this user. And this is what it will look like. Okay, it will be on the surveys. Now you can also remove it if you want to. Now you go back to documents, and let me just clear the filters. The survey is also here, and you can see that it's converting. Any questions? Would you like me to go through it again? No? Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna delete it. Okay. So it's delete. I'm gonna just save changes. Yeah. Good. I think this is all that we need to cover for today. Now, just remember that you have any questions on how to do certain things, you can obviously always, you know, get back to me. But you have a very good and thorough documentation source here. You click on the icon and you go to documentation. This will take you to the picture documentation page. Okay, where here you go to picture web admin. Okay, and you go to basics. You can go to keywords. You can go to surveys, and it will explain to you how the surveys are created as well. Okay, and the same, you know, with everything else that we saw in the first session, and now this session with all the items that we have just seen. And one last thing to add, also, if you go to reporting, you click on the icon, you have the reporting option. And here you have created a survey and you click on surveys, you will be able to see the results on that survey. You need to select the instance. Well, sorry, it hasn't got a search for some reason. So I could just go to here, and then if there is a survey available, and there is none, let me see, try it. Okay, so no surveys have been created. But anyway, you should be able to, I think there is one. So you will be able to select the survey. Okay, and then you create a survey report. And it will give you an Excel with the different results. of the survey. Yeah. Okay. So that's all we need. It was left to cover. I don't know if you have any questions or anything that you would like to go to for me to walk you through again. We have 5 minutes left, so yeah.
Team, this is the last picture admin session that we'll be having for several months. So if there is any questions, even ones that have been answered, you just need to double check on. We do have 5 minutes, so use the time. Otherwise, we can end the call and give you all back a few minutes.
Excuse me, Khalid, I have a question. Regarding, yes, thank you. Regarding to the new instance that we already have on the picture admin. So for now, we have to go with the new instance, which is Abbott Nutrition MENAP Iraq UAT, right? And
yeah, so that's a really good question, Syed. So you should have for all of the countries that already had picture before Connect, you should have 2 instances now, right? You have the old instance, which is what your team is using today when they're going doing their day-to-day detailing calls, and then you have the newer instance, which is the Connect instance, which they will be using post go live. And the go live date is depending on the country and the group of people will either be in the 1st or the 2nd week of March. Okay, so until the last go live date, because we've split up the go live, until the 12th, 13th, and 14th of March, depending on the country and the first working day in the country, you will continue to work on the old one and only upload the content for the new one just to be prepared, okay? And then for Iraq specifically, since you guys, the first working day is a Sunday, then on the 13th of March, that's when the old instance that we're currently using now will no longer be used by the reps, and it will be the new one that gets used with the promo grid and everything involved. And for the rest of the countries, it's different. For Egypt, for example, the first day of go live for Connect will be the 12th. And then for Saudi, Kenya, it will be on the 14th because we start on Monday.
Okay.
But a very important thing is everything needs to be ready, including the promo grid for the launch on the 5th or 6th or 7th, because we do have a soft go live the week before. So everything needs to be ready by that week, by the 5th, 6th, or 7th. And then the old instance will no longer be used in the following week, which is the full go live date. I hope that's clear.
Yes, Khalid, it's clear.
Thank you.
Thank you, Khalid. There is another question, and I think regarding the sample, or how we can upload the sample on the Connect system, or must as a marketing upload this, or it's the role of SFE team?
So I think Koi isn't here, and I honestly forgot. I think it's different per affiliate. This is something that should be coordinated with your SFE manager. So if you don't mind, can you send out an email to Altaf? It should either be Altaf that does it, or it can be also the sales team. Usually it depends on who approves it, right? I know, for example, for UAE, it gets approved and everything gets done by the sales team. It gets done by Salim and in UAE. So technically, in that case, it would be Salim that provides that template to the SFE teams. If in Iraq you're the one that's doing it, then of course you would have to provide the SFE team with the sample sheets and the quantities per product per rep.
Okay, thank you so much. Oh.
Okay, team. Thank you, everyone, for your time. Have a good rest of your afternoon.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining. Have a great day.
And thank you, Olga, for the training. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Anytime.
Thank
Bye,
you.
bye guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.